Today we're going to talk about the Hagakure and Bushido, the soul of Japan. And for you guys out there, basically know I'm doing a new book. It comes out within the next few months. But basically pre-order it now, or if it's out, order it. And that is the Book of Bushido. And this is how big it is. And this is what I get from the publisher to go through. So boom. So the blue marks are the bits of the marks I'm going to do for this series of videos. So let's talk about the Hagakure and Bushido, soul of Japan. Now, one of the main problems with Bushido is that we get most of our information, literally 90% of our information, stems from Bushido, the soul of Japan, which was written in 1899, 1900, depending on where the print is, and Hagakure, which is just a single document from the past, which suddenly went into massive circulation in the nationalistic 1930s of Japan. It was out before then, it was out after Bushido, but it went massive because of nationalism in Japan, and it was very much the death cult mentality. So let's have a look at those two things and how they twist our mind. So basically, Bushido, the soul of Japan, everybody says, oh, it's not good, it was written in English by a Christian, but the guy was brought up a samurai. He was a samurai. But without doubt, it was Christianized, it was cleaned up, and he did a great job in that he actually was like, these are the basics of Bushido, this is what samurai based their lives on. And he wasn't wrong, but he gave you a very clean, a very sort of easy to understand breakdown of it. But the problem was it was written in the late 1800s, which means the language now is too far removed from modern English to be enjoyable. And of course he was highly educated, he was aiming at a highly educated audience and the literati of his day. And for me and you, basically it can be a little bit much. Have you read the Book of Bushido? Sorry, not the Book of Bushido, that's mine. Bushido, Soul of Japan. And it is just a little bit too much. It's understandable, don't get me wrong, but it's not enjoyable. So let's look at the Hagakure. So remember that with Bushido, it's not wrong, but he's a simplified and it's a little bit Christianized, but that's not really a massive problem because he's just teaching it to Christians. Everybody in 1899, 1900 was a Christian. You know what I mean? They went to church on a Sunday and he spoke in a language that made them understand what the samurai were all about. And when you go back and look at history, he wasn't wrong. He just totally took away the reality of war in Japan and gave you the idealization of what Bushido is. He didn't say this is a reality, this is the idealized version. Now the Hagakure, right, Hagakure, actually can mean beneath the shadow of leaves, hidden beneath the leaves, in the darkness of the shade of the forest, or in the land of the fruit tree, a specific Japanese tree. It depends totally how you want to translate that. It isn't on. Now, of all the translations, Alexander Bennett's has the most in it, and there's been many translations, and of course, but the most beautiful one is the Watkins edition. Now, the problem I have with Bushido and the Hagakure is that it's totally 100% taken out of context. Everybody talks about the Hagakure and it's totally out of context. The Hagakure was written in the early 1700s, yeah, 1716, something like that. The reason we say this is because it was over a certain period of time these were collected. So it could be late 1600s to early 1700s, collected by, you know, the second decade of the 1700s. But basically, it is just laying rest in a clan, and this book actually is connected to Taisha Ryu and Alex Alera from Taisha Ryu, so he has followed the connection for the author. Now the author is very famous, he's Yamamoto, and he wrote it, of course, but he wasn't famous in his day. This is the thing everybody must understand. When Bushido, the soul of Japan, came out, they were looking for other documents, and somebody whipped out Hagakure and said, there you go guys, let's do this one. And then bit by bit it got more and more popular until the 1930s. Nationalistic Japan is like, what can we use? And they start printing modern books of Hagakure and very much focusing on just die for your lord. So everybody has then interpreted that to mean the Hagakure is about dying for your lord. It's absolutely not. So what I have done is I have broken the Hagakure down in this book, in the Book of Bushido. I've broken it down for you into 4 major sections, right? And I've gone through and I've stripped it all of everything and just got the points. So what I've done the personal traits it talks about, clan responsibilities, things that are deemed correct, and things that are deemed incorrect. And I'm not going to read it all out to you because it'd be boring as sin, and please buy the book because then you'll know. But basically, the Hagakure, and I spent weeks doing this every day. What's this? What's that? Writing out every point of the Hagakure, compiling them all, pulling them apart, and putting it into this very simple, easy list for you guys, again, in the book. So, be prepared to die for a lord without question. Renounce your own self-interest. Engage in the correct marriage relationships. Cultivate an impeccable and wonderful personal appearance. Have positive role models in your life. Have a steady mind. Be sincere and polite. If you want to do something, do it yourself. I'll move down with it. Never drink too much. Engage in the tea ceremony to purify your body. Value truth above all things. Recite and chant the name of your master as you would of saint. Not exactly sounding like a death cult sort of one-way nationalistic thing, is it, when you break it down? If you pull a few quotes from it, it sounds ridiculous, but you put it all together, it's absolutely fine. So, Yamamoto goes on to talk about clan responsibilities. Have loyalty to your lord, absolute. Come together to make decisions so that the best ideas of the clan can be heard. Know that even untalented members of the clan have their worth as long as they are loyal. Never speak ill of the dead. Study your own family history. Know that even the greatest houses in it come to an end. So if your clan is about to fall, make sure you go out with style. Okay, so that's obviously I'm just picking bits here. There's plenty more. Things that are deemed correct. Elude a quiet strength. Giving advice in the correct way. Sorry guys, somebody just knocked at my door. It always happens. Every time I record a bloody thing, somebody comes to my door. I usually put notes on my door saying, stop knocking, I'm on the phone. You know, I don't want to write, I'm editing a video. Right, so give advice in the correct way. Look at people directly. Properly predict future outcomes with today's evidence. Be the first into battle. Die facing the front. Keep it simple. If things get complicated, just start killing. If it gets a bit much, take your sword out, start murdering everyone. Bit on the death cult side, that one. Bursting at the chest with pride of duty. These are things that are deemed correct. Now, things he deems incorrect are pretty much the opposite of those things, but failing to act correctly at the moment of your death. Being relaxed in public so people think that you're relaxing on work. You come out of work and you think, oh, relax. But no, you're in the public eye. You can only relax at home. We talked about this in How to Be a Modern Samurai. Getting carried away by superstitious things. Don't ignore them, but don't be ridiculous with it. Don't have fear in your voice. Don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate in your life. And finally, don't disrespect the ways of the Buddha and saying things like Buddhism should be more than Budo. Budo is better than Buddhism, the way of the samurai. So as you can see, guys, basically, the Hagakure is taken out of context, and it isn't a death manual by any means. And it's got loads of great stuff in it. So, and of course, Bushido is not incorrect, but it's not the full story. And it's told to a specific audience at a specific time, but it doesn't make it incorrect. So, guys, I hope you enjoy that. Put your comments down below about whether you've read the book of Bushido. Oh, that's my book. Bushido, The Soul of Japan. And let me know in the comments below if you've pre-ordered the book of Bushido, because it really helps when you pre-order it, guys. It really does. That's why I'm putting the videos out early now, because we've got it up. Let's get it out there. There you go, guys. That's the second in Bushido. By the end of this series, you should have a right good knowledge on what it means to be a samurai.